So hi guys, good afternoon to everyone. I hope you're all doing well. This is very fine. Wednesday afternoon, it's the 18th of March 2026, and welcome to this midweek market intelligence with me, Wall Street Puppy. So let's get to start off with what it is we are anticipating for this week. Now, this week is central bank week, all right? This week is central bank week. We have quite a number of central banks releasing their monetary policy statements. So starting off with today, right? Starting off with today at 4:45 p.m., right? Starting off with today at 4:45 p.m. We'll be having the Bank of Canada releasing their interest rates, and they're looking at maintaining their rates at 2.25%. Then tonight we'll be having the Federal Reserve as well, releasing their federal funds rate, and they're looking at maintaining their rates at 3.75%. Then tomorrow we will be having the BOJ also releasing their monetary policy statement, and they're looking at maintaining their rates at 0.75%. Then also tomorrow, the same tomorrow, we will be having the Swiss National Bank, that is the SNB, releasing their monetary policy statement, and they're looking at maintaining their rates at 0.0%. Then we'll be having the GBP, the Bank of England, releasing their monetary policy statement, and they are looking at maintaining their rates at 3.75%. And lastly, we will be having the European Central Bank as well, releasing their interest rates and monetary policy statement and looking at maintaining their rates at 2.15%. So definitely we will have quite a bit of volatility and momentum across dollar pairs, euro pairs, pound pairs, Swiss franc pairs, and Japanese yen pairs, and also the Canadian pairs. So it's something to closely be vigilant of. So expect or anticipate quite a bit of momentum and volatility due to that. And if you now hop onto the technical side of things and see what it is we are looking out for this week. Now, starting off with Euro USD right here. Now, Euro USD already hit our target at 1.15 thousand. Remember our target for the drop last week was this. So this week I've not done a this week I've not done a weekly market outlook. So I'm doing the midweek instead. So this was we had the rally till here, then the drop again, back to these areas of 1.15 thousand, back to these areas here. So our range has been from this supply all the way down to this demand, back to this supply, that range was filled. The drop again to this target, the target was hit. Now we've seen prices from this lower low. What I was previously anticipating is a potential continuation of the drop lower, but instead we have seen a push to the upside. Retest this, something like that, then anticipate to see a potential push to the upside all the way back to this supply at 1.16320 being the origin of this whole drop. So for the full range to be filled, we'll be looking at prices rallying to the areas of 1.16320 areas, right? So 1.16320 areas, we have that. So let's just let's observe and see how price gets to react to this. Okay. So we have that on Euro USD. All right, I'm looking at a potentially bullish euro. Then we have these on the 4 hour time frame. If we have also check out the daily, this is what we have. Now on the daily as well, you can see the kind of structure that is forming here. So we've been having the range from this demand. This demand has been a very key area of interest, has also been an origin of multiple major rallies. Here we had the fake breakout, then price rallies all the way to the upside like that. Again, when price tapped into this, strong rally like that. When price now taps into this, we've seen a fake breakout, then a candle close above here. So you're looking at this, then that kind of scenario right there, right? So we have something like that, right? We have something like that, right? So that is for Euro, that is for Euro USD. I'm looking at a potential rally all the way to these areas of 1.16320 areas, right? So then you have GBP USD as well. So for GBP USD, this is what we've been having. So I am looking at this scenario, all right? So we had a very strong drop that broke below this demand area here. Right, we had a very strong drop that broke below this demand below this demand area down here and dropped all the way down to this demand. Then we've had from this area all the way down to this consolidation. Then that is when we saw the drop all the way down. Now here we've seen price rally and now has broken above this structure. And now we are seeing the retest here again for this structure. So what I'm anticipating to see the potential continuation of the rally higher. The first area of interest will be these areas of the first area of interest will be these levels of 1.34 500. This will be the first area of interest. Then the next area of interest will be these areas of 1.35 320 areas all the way up to this supply area for price to fill the full range all the way to this. But this is my first target here, 1.34 500 levels, like that, right? So this is my first area of interest. So we have that. Then Euro USD, GBP USD. Let's have a look at USD CHF. So the dollar Swiss franc. This is actually a very nice this is a very nice setup that you have here. So for USD CHF, this is the kind of structure that you're working with. So we are working with a range from this supply area here. So from this supply all the way down to this demand. Then you had a push to the upside, then price comes back to demand, a push to the upside again, retracement, then price rallies all the way to this supply and fills the range all the way to this supply area. Then we had a slight retracement, then a strong push to the upside again like that. Now in this zone, realize we have multiple rejection wicks with candle closes inside the area. This was a previous key demand that held for about 8 or 9 months. Then now we have seen a push to the downside, a retest currently at this area here. So what I'd be anticipating to see is a potential push to the downside, right? The first area of interest will be these low at 0.77600, right? 0.77600, the first area. Then the next one is all the way down to these areas of 0.76550 areas down here. Right? So those are the two areas of interest. My bias is bearish. I'm looking at a potential push to the downside all the way down, right? So we have that. Okay. We have that on USD CHF. Remember again, today is FOMC. Okay. Remember again, today is FOMC. So quite a bit of momentum and volatility will be expected. All right. Quite a bit of momentum and volatility will be expected, right? So we have that on USD CHF. Okay. We have that on USD CHF. Then mhm, let's have a look at USD CAD. USD CAD. So this is what you have on USD CAD. Again, as you can see, scope markets. So keep it scope markets, right? My recommended broker, scope markets. Now, so this is what we have on USD CAD. We have the range from this supply all the way down to this demand, all right? Then back to this supply, that range was filled. Then we have from just a second. Just a second. Seeing a very mm, hmm, a very good opportunity. Yeah. So this is actually for USD CHF. Huh. Mm, 0.78. Just a minute. Mm, Yeah, I was trying to get a good one. All right. So, we have that. Then this is on USD CAD. We've seen a drop like this, where has price come to retest these areas here, liquidity. This can actually give us very good opportunities for potential sales on USD CAD, right? Price reaction from these liquidity areas. So I'm looking at a potential push to the downside, right? And price coming all the way down to this demand area. Price coming all the way down to this demand area at 1.36 thousand. Okay. 1.36 thousand areas down here, or even coming into these areas of 1.35, 530 areas, right? So we have that. I'm looking at a potential push to the downside for USD CAD. This is the first area of interest, that's 6,000. The next area of interest is 1.35600, or even let's say 1.35500 areas, right? So we have that. Okay. We have that. Then yeah, we have that. Then let's have a look at we have that. Then let's have a look at NZD USD. Can see USD CHF is already reacting from here. So I can have something like this, right here like that. Then seeing it like that, right? So something like that right there. For USD CHF, right? So I'll be sharing these with the members of the community right after these. So you can actually see I'm having the session, I'm having or getting the setup as I am live on this call, or as I am doing this video, right? So I'm gonna share these with the members of the community, the Chase Capital community, just right here in a bit. So we have these USD CHF right there. Very nice, very nice, very clean opportunity. So I was looking at NZD USD. NZD USD. There's NZD USD still pushing up very well. So I anticipate to see now that this range has been filled from this demand all the way to this supply. Then you have from this supply all the way down to this demand. Now we had this is a drop based rally, so we had a push up. We had the push up retest, then a continuation of the rally higher. The first area of interest will be these highs of 0.59400, like that. Okay. The first area of interest will be the highs of 0.59400. Then the next area of interest, because now this forms the mid-range, this is a break of structure area, this forms the mid-range. This will be the first target. Then the next target will be the areas of price, once price breaks above the mid-range, is all the way to the full range, which is now 0.6500 areas up here. Okay, but first I'd want to see the rally to the mid-range, which is now the areas of 0.59, 400, about 500 areas, right? So we have that for NZD USD. Okay, we have that for NZD USD. Yeah, so we have that for NZD USD. Let's have a look at Euro Pound. So this is one of the pairs that will be greatly affected tomorrow by the ECB and the Bank of England release tomorrow. However, from now the technical side of things, this is what I am looking at. So this is what you're looking at for on the technical side of things. So we have the range, right? The major range has been filled all the way down to this demand. This demand has held multiple rejections in the zone, a push to the upside, then a bit of consolidation. So what I'd want to see is a potential something like that, because now our range has been from this supply down to this demand, from this demand back to this supply, from this supply back to this demand, from demand all the way back to supply again, then retracement back to supply. Then that is how we have seen this range getting filled all the way down back till here, right? So I don't see a push to the upside, a potential bullish reversal from here, right? I don't see a potential bullish reversal from here, and price pushing to the upside, right? I'm looking at a potential bullish reversal, and this is a very key area on both the 4 hour. It's a very key area on both the 4 hour time frame and also the daily. Because if we check out the daily, you can see it's a very key. It is a very key area of interest here on the daily time frame. All right. So we have that. Uh-huh. Let me have these like that. Then these like that there. Hmm. You have this. You have that. You have that. And also we have this like that. So something like that. Okay. So this is a very key area of demand right here. And you're looking at a potential bullish reversal. Then the range that I'm mentioning that we've been working with has been from zone to zone, supply to demand, demand to supply, supply to demand, demand to supply, supply to demand. So I'm looking at demand back to supply, right? So we have that on Euro GBP. Let's have a look at now US oil and we have look at crude oil and Brent oil. So that is crude oil and Brent. And Brent oil like that. Yeah, so for oil, this is what you have. Now I realize majority of the people have just been, majority of the people have been looking at, especially during from the start of this war, looking at gold, but I feel like the main focus should be on oil. Because understanding the countries that are at conflict, US and Iran, and understanding the resources that these countries produce. Iran is the global supply chain of oil through the Strait of Hormuz. So, definitely, this war was going to have a bigger impact on oil than gold. All right, because this war is affecting the world's largest global supply chain for oil, which is the Strait of Hormuz. Right, so when that happened, that is when we've seen the prices of oil skyrocketing because again, definitely when there's a war that arises, it affects the supply and demand of the commodities or the resources being produced. Right? Same thing with when it was Russia and Ukraine. That was the best time to be trading, let's say, a commodity like wheat because Ukraine is the largest wheat bed globally, right? So during that war, definitely the production or the export of wheat was being affected, right? So that is now that brings the aspect of understanding supply and demand even into our day-to-day lives, all right? So for that, for this war that is now between US and Iran, the major commodity to look out for is oil because it is the one that is being affected globally. We've seen even the price of oil skyrocketing, both for Brent oil and crude oil. Then also, the availability now of oil, even in our now, let's say, like local petrol stations and things like that, you will feel the scarcity. All right. You will get to either see the hike in prices or the scarcity of the commodity, which is now oil. All right. Now let's see what it has, the effect of that war of Iran and US and its effect on now the oil prices in the markets. Now I'm starting off with Brent right here. This is the UK oil. So this is what we've been having. We had a very nice spike all the way to these areas of close to 120, about 119, then a drop down to this 82, then a push like that all the way to these areas of 107, 105, 106, about these areas, yeah. Then tracement like that. So what I'm anticipating to see is a potential continuation of the rally higher. Chances are high these geopolitical tensions might get to escalate. All right, we are seeing quite a lot of retaliations from Iran, so there's a higher possibility that these geopolitical tensions may escalate, and if that happens, then definitely expect to see the prices of oil. Expect to see the price of oil pushing higher. Right, expect to see the price of oil pushing higher to these areas of 115 back to around 119 areas, right? So we have that for UK oil. Then let's have a look at US. So for US oil, the same kind of scenario. It's actually at a very good area of interest for a potential bullish opportunity, right? So this is what we have. So a strong up price rallies all the way to this. Then a strong retracement all the way down to this demand, 80.40. Then a strong push all the way back up at 102.5. Then retest pushes up again. Retest, we've seen this now a bullish engulfing candle here. So what I'm anticipating to see is a push to the upside like that. And even for this one as well, I anticipate a potential for this one as well, I anticipate a potential continuation of the rally higher, and prices rallying back to these areas of 115, 115, let's say 117.5 areas, right? 117.5 areas is where I'm looking at price going to. Now, these on the long term. Remember, these on the 4-hour time frame. So I'm looking at a bigger picture. I'm looking at a bigger picture scenario, right? So we have that. Okay. We have that on oil. Then let's have a look at gold and silver and see what it is we are anticipating on the two. We have gold right here, and also we have silver. hmm We have silver like that right there, right? So there is gold and there is gold and silver right there like that. No, I'm sure very many people were looking at the moment the war broke out, they all wanted to buy gold, but then gold sold heavily. And it's important because you get to understand and realize that this war, the majority of impact will happen on a different commodity, which is not gold, it is oil. All right. So this is what we have. We've seen price break below this eventually. So this is consolidation that is happening here, but I don't want to see because now this was the mid-range. Okay, the major range is from this demand all the way to the all-time highs and back to this demand. This one here is the mid-range. Okay, this is the mid-range right here. So a push up that then the highs of 5400. Back to this consolidation, then I push to the downside, a bit of consolidation, then drops all the way to these areas of 4850, about 4900 areas down here, right? Down to these lows. I won't say like currencies probably I'd wait it to come all the way down to here, considering this is gold, but at least the immediate low will be these lows at. The immediate lows will be the lows at 4850, about 4900 areas, right? So we have that. Let's observe and see how price gets to react to this. Then we have silver, still the same kind of structure. For silver as well, you can see this is what we have on silver right here. Okay. This is what you have on silver right here. So this kind of structure. So we had these highs, price comes back to the mid-range, consolidates, pushes up, then comes back again, then eventually breaks below. We have a retest here. So I don't see something like this, a retest, another retest, then slightly push to the downside down to this area of 72.150, 72.15045, right? So a potential push to the downside back to this demand area down here. Okay. I'd be looking to see price push down to that demand area down there. Then lastly, let's have a look at NAS and US 30. You have Nasdaq here and US 30 right here. hmm Starting off with NAS. So this is what you have on Nasdaq. So for NAS, we've had the range from this supply all the way down to these lows and back to this supply. That range was filled. Then a push to the downside, back to this structure, price is back at this supply. So I don't want to see if price is going to hold at this supply or we are going to see a potential break above and price keeps pushing higher. All right. So I'll be closely monitoring that. Okay. I'll be closely monitoring that to see I'll be closely monitoring that to see how price reacts, okay, at these areas here. Okay, so we have that is on NAS. Okay, that is on NASDAQ. Hmm. Yeah, that is on NASDAQ, all right. Then we have US 30. So for US 30, this is what you have. We've seen a very strong drop to the downside. So prices are currently at a very key structure, which is now this area here. Okay. I don't want to see a slight push to a slight push down to these areas of 46,500 down here. All right. So let's observe and see how price. Let's observe and see how price gets to react to this on your 30, right? So we have that. All right. So I don't see either price holds these level or we see a potential reversal and price pushes lower. But first, I don't see the reaction inside this zone. All right. So that is what I'm looking out for. Remember, it is central bank week and there's quite a lot of volatility and yeah, quite a lot of volatility expected. So trade cautiously and carefully. Maintain proper risk management. And yeah, let's wait for the news and see how it reacts to the various levels of interest that we've plotted and talked about. So, cheers, guys. Have an amazing rest of your week. Have a very fruitful and productive week. Stay blessed and stay financially literate. And let's catch up on the next one. So, cheers, guys.